Hi, I'm Scherri Edwards. Welcome back. This is part 2 of energy balancing and some of the other sessions offered at Jackie's Pet Salon and Boutique in Scotia, New York. This part 2 is about chromotherapy. Now, chromotherapy means color therapy. And the first thing you're going to say is, wait a minute. Pets don't see colors like we do. And that's correct. They don't. It's not about the color. Once again, it's about the frequency, the vibration. All colors on the visible light spectrum carry a frequency, just like your stones do. For example, the color red has a very long wavelength, but it has a very short frequency. The other end of the spectrum, the color violet, has a very short wavelength, but it has a very high frequency. And you can look online and they have all kinds of charts and graphs that show the colors on the light spectrum and the frequencies. And once again, these frequencies of the color, just like the stones, can help to balance the chakras of you and your pet. So one of the sessions that we offer at Jackie's Pet Salon is a chromotherapy crystal balance. Now this is great for pets who are fearful, who don't want a lot of handling, you know, to have the stones put on them and whatnot. It's also great for cats because you're not using a pendulum over them. You can if they'll accept it, but you know, there's not something dangling for them to play with. And basically, you have your pictures of your chakras, like we showed you in the last video. Here's your chakras of where your pet is in the color. So instead of using that color stone, we're going to use that color light. But here's what else we're going to do. I had the opportunity a few years ago of going to a place in Cape Cod that had a crystal bed therapy. Now this was a custom-made crystal bed where they used chromotherapy lighting. You laid down, the colored lights were aligned to your specific chakras, but the cool part was the lights were put through a clear quartz crystal. So not only are you getting the vibrations of your chromotherapy, but it's going through a crystal. You're also getting the great vibrations of a clear quartz crystal. So we can't ask a pet to lay and not move for a half an hour while we do this, but what we can do is do a handheld chromotherapy, and that's what one of the sessions offered at Jackie's is. Using our colored lights, just as we did on the chakras, and this is an example of the root chakra, we will use the chromotherapy in combination with a clear crystal quartz, and 3-4 minutes on each chakra is usually what it takes to balance that chakra with the chromotherapy. If the pet will allow a pendulum after the balance is over, we can check and get an assessment to see how well it is balanced. But the great thing about chromotherapy is a fearful or animal that's not keen on being handled, you can do it from a distance, and animals love it. There's a number of articles in Pet Wellness magazine going back even a few years of how responsive animals are to the chromotherapy. When I first started working with it, I decided to do some experimenting on my own pets. I have 3 cats, all of which are strays or rescues. My one cat was a feral kitten. She literally had to be trapped by the organization. She was so wild. And I've had her a few years now, and she's still very, very timid, very skittish. You can't pet her if you're standing up. That's too threatening to her. Every little noise she jumps at. So she was in her cat post bed there that's raised off the ground, and I thought I would try some chromotherapy on her to see how she would respond to it. So I sat in a rocking chair a few feet away, and I put a cool, relaxing color on her, just shining it on her from a distance, and she was very aware of the light. Now, no, she may not be able to see the color as I see it. I believe it was pink, but the vibrations were there and she was very aware. And she didn't move. She didn't run. She eventually started to close her eyes in that content motion that cats do. She started to yawn and she started to go to sleep. So that said, I decided to try to balance her chakras using the light. Again, she watched every move I made, but she never ran, she never jumped. After I had completely finished the balance, I really went out on a limb and decided to try to check her with a pendulum. Now, under any other circumstances, this cat would have flown 100 miles an hour when I dangled the pendulum over her. She never moved, and she let me dangle the pendulum and check all chakras, and she was perfectly balanced. I was so excited over the fact that she seemed to enjoy it and that I was able to balance her that I never even really tuned into or paid attention. Did we see a difference in the cat? And a week or so later, I'm noticing like she's lying in the hallway, and if I came walking along any other day, she would have ran. She never moved, and I'm stepping over her and walking on, and I'm thinking, she didn't move. That's kind of unusual. And I noticed other things, like her allowing me to pet her from a stance that may be more threatening to her, and she seemed to just be a little more relaxed and a little more friendly than normal. So I was really excited over that, and I have balanced this cat using chromotherapy twice since then. So do we get a nice balance? Yes. Can it help your animal? Absolutely. Again, is every balance going to be a miracle? Absolutely not. And once again, my verbal disclaimer, never substitute energy balancing for veterinarian care or on yourself. Never substitute it for medical care. This is just to help you achieve a higher level of wellness and help your immunity a little, maybe help you with some issues again. If your energy in your body is balanced, it does help you obtain a little bit higher level of wellness and maybe can help with some issues that you're dealing with. So that said, with the session offered at Jackie's, after we do a chromotherapy balance, then the animal will go to its bed in its crate, and we will do a color bath. And what that is we will put the color, shine the color on the animal that again would be best helpful for that animal. We'll talk to you about it. Does it have any issues, something that maybe it needs help with, or just a cool, calm, relaxing color that might help it chill out while it's waiting in the crate for its owner to come. They have done studies with chromotherapy, and I just wanted to tell the story of the one. There's a New England State Hospital that took staff members. They took a dozen staff members that all had perfectly normal blood pressure. They bathed them in blue light for half an hour. The color blue is supposed to help lower your blood pressure. Every single person's blood pressure had dropped in a 30-minute period. They took the same 12 people and they bathed them in red light for 30 minutes, and the red light is supposed to increase the blood pressure, and every single staff member's blood pressure increased after 30 minutes. So chromotherapy, the vibrations of color can work just as well as the stones do. And for animals, it's great for if they're anxious, if they're nervous, we can bathe them in a nice cool green or blue color to help with anxiety. If it's a dog that's old and arthritic and has circulatory problems, a nice red color can help get the circulation going, help get the blood going, help give them a little energy maybe. the animal's never forced to stay in the light during the color bath. They're always able to move out of the light should they need to. And that's an indication to us that maybe that vibration was too much for the animal, and we will try something that they may like or enjoy. But the animals do really seem to enjoy it. So we've also added on our last session, Jackie offers, is a ColorWorks bath, which is an add-on to a grooming. Once your pet is done being groomed, it sits in a crate for a period of time. This is the perfect opportunity to, as an add-on to a groom, give it a color bath. Again, we will do a color specific to your animal. The beds, we put the color towel on, cool color, warm color. It all depends on what your animal needs. The color we shine into the crate is the color that is appropriate for any of your animal's needs, or something that your animal may just enjoy. My cat, the pink, is my cat that is so petrified of everything. Really seems to enjoy the pink light, and that's what I have used on her. So that said, those are the 3 sessions from part 1 of our video, the energy stone balancing. And in this video, we have the Chromotherapy crystal balancing, or the ColorWorks, which is the bathing in the colored light. That's an add-on to the groom. And I think that's everything that we talked about at the clinic. I hope some of this information was helpful. Again, Jackie's Pet Salon does have handouts on the different sessions, all about the energy healing, and you can talk to the staff members there about any issues your animals have or any of the sessions involved. And I hope you enjoyed the talk. Thank you very much.